What's up? What's up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. NBA Talk with Jay. Got my guy Shark and Sports with me. Got my other guy with me, Ski Profit as well. What's up with you, Shark? And then throw it over there to Ski.
Hanging out. I said to Jay just 5 minutes ago, I get the opportunity to wear the first buy hat of the 2021 campaign with the Charlotte Hornets. I'm excited to do it, and I'm excited to talk to Ski Profit. It's been a year in the making, and we're finally here. It's going to be an opportunity to dominate. Ski, what's going on today, brother?
Another day, another dollar. A lot of games on the slate. It's great to be back talking the games with you guys and just looking forward to making some money.
Appreciate you coming on, my guy. If y'all don't know, that's my guy Ski Profit, man, from Wager Talk, from everywhere, from Twitter. Go follow him on Twitter, man. Go follow my guy as well at Shark and Sports. You can follow me as well at J Money as one, man. Let's get into it though, my guys. First game up, we got the Hornets versus we all business here. Do you know what I'm saying? We got the Hornets versus the Magic. This line opened up at 6 for the Hornets, down to 5.5 now. Total opened up at 217 up to 220. Here, Shark. I know you told me you got the hat on, so obviously you have a look in this game. What you thinking?
Yeah, a lot going on here. When I started going through the season last year, and I saw Ski made a post saying we need data, 5 to 6 games, and I couldn't agree more. So I do go back to last year. Of course, you guys that watch the show every day do know that. People oftentimes say, what are you guys talking about? It's a new season. Guys, the data is made by odds makers. It's the same guys every season. So we can take their lines and use it as information. You go back to last year, Orlando did host Charlotte in a back-to-back sequence early season. They split that heads up, but the line functionality did matter a lot. Charlotte laid 2 points and covered. They won the game by 3. In the revenge game the very next night, Orlando flipped and laid 1 point and cleaned them up. Later season, Charlotte laid -7.5, so you get an 8.5 gap there coming home, and they blew them out. So every single time the line moved more than the stock 3, it mattered. Now you come back into Orlando, you get a move slightly down from 7.5 to 6, but it should be 4.5. And you look at what's going on here, Orlando is just purely down this year. And you go back to their only home game, it's the same environment. They came off of a road blowout in the first game and came home against the Knicks, and the Knicks absolutely throttled them from the opening tip. You get Charlotte coming in here off a loss, and you get Charlotte off a representative road effort at Cleveland, who is far more competent than Orlando this year. I think Charlotte cleans them up here by 10 plus with ease.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off there. Ski, what you think about this game, Hornets versus the Magic?
Yeah, I just think of the Magic. I still was trying to figure out who's the worst team in the league. It's up for debate, Magic or or the Thunder, but it's one of those two. And I want no parts of them. They're losing by 15.5 points per game on average. I get I don't really like laying 5.5 or really wanting to expect Charlotte to win by margin on the road. But I just think this Orlando team is that bad. So the only way I can play this game with what I've seen so far is to play Charlotte on the spread. And even though it's their third game in 4 nights, I think they still had a day off yesterday. And these guys are young anyway. Even if we think back to last year, the Hornets were good on a back-to-back. So I don't think they're tired or any of that bothers them. So Hornets for me or nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Hornets, I'm not looking towards betting the Magic, especially off a high as well. And one thing we may want to do is look towards betting against the teams with the rookie head coaches, and they just got their win. I believe it's been 2-0 so far after those rookie head coaches get their first win. Like I say, it's a letdown, but they kind of partying. We saw that the Blazers. That's why it was one of the reasons why I fade them versus the Clippers. They pouring water stuff on Billups. They really had a party in the locker room after the game. I'm like, okay, it's a really big deal. They're gonna have a letdown in the next game, and this is exactly what they did. So the Magic come off a 12-point outright win over the Knicks. It's the first game back at the house off a little couple games on the road as well. It's definitely Hornets or nothing. I know my guy Kyle likes the Hornets first half as well. Might have to ride with my guys here on this one. It should be a smack city spot.
I'll say one thing about that though. If I'm not mistaken, I think Hornets are 0-4 so far in the first half. I don't know. I probably prefer them over the course of the game.
Yeah, you have a point. And I'll be honest, guys, Rozier and PJ Washington are out for this game. I mean, this line would be even higher if they had those two guys for sure. But it's a young team. They're coming off of overtime loss, should be motivated to come and smack this man. If you want to smack the Magic up, you can smack them up. It's pretty much that simple. Let's get to the next game. Wizards versus the Celtics here, guys. Celtics open up at 4. It's up to 4.5. Total opened up at 226.5 down to 224. The Wizards look a lot better defensively than we initially thought here, Shark. Are you liking anything at this in this game?
No, this game for me is a real toss. Going through last season, it's just a tough buy in a lot of formats. The line is not speaking to me. Of course, Boston comes in here off a trip and a win and an overtime game. I believe this is the 5th game in 7 nights for Boston, which is an extreme fatigue spot, even early season for a younger group. Washington comes in here off a really lackluster performance in Brooklyn, so theoretically you might get a bounce back environment there. Washington also played well in Toronto in the opener. Boston's only played 1 home game. It was a disastrous effort against Toronto. So we're just a little data deficient here. Is Boston this bad at home? How are they going to come back off of travel and the 5th game in 7 nights? The line functionality is not really giving me a lot. Boston did lay 3.5 last year in the first game against Washington at home and did cover, I believe, by 9 points on a straight up margin there. But then it kind of went all over the grid. The last matchup was 111-110, a non-cover. I think you could get a Washington scrap spot here, but again, 4.5 for me is really sharp. No, nothing official by any means here.
Yeah, 5th game in 8 days, but
Okay.
still a lot of games in a day. You know what I'm saying? It's one day different, but Wizards definitely have the rest advantage here. They just had a couple of days off before the next game. This is the first game of back-to-back, but like you say, they definitely have the rest advantage. Ski, what you think about this one?
Yeah, Boston, I hear what you guys are saying about the rest, and I definitely have to take that into account. Just looking at what I've seen from Boston so far, I don't think I can lay 4.5. Like, have they even won by 5 yet? Like, I don't want to expect them to win by margin until I see them play a complete game. And just thinking about what Washington has done so far, I was impressed by the comeback win over the Pacers because that just shows that they're gritty. They're not going to give up. You have guys coming over. Like, it's a pretty much a new Washington team. And guys are talking like they're trying to change the culture in Washington. So I don't see it being like a rollover spot for Washington. I think they'll be in the game. If I was playing, I'll be grabbing the points.
Got you. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I lean Boston here. I'm gonna tell you something even more though. What I'd rather see. I'll tell you I like them. They did lose their first home game. They got smacked up by 30 something. And those guys up there in Boston, it's kind of like Philly. They take their sports serious. I'm sure they want to bounce back at the house. So, in even saying that, I'm still not taking the Celtics here. I'm with Sid. I don't trust them in this point range. With Shark as well. 5th game in 8 days, not necessarily a spot that you want to be on, especially land points with the team as well. Maybe if they're coming off a loss, if they're coming there pissed off and they have motivation, but this team came off an overtime win, 2 wins, so they could be a little bit fat and happy, not necessarily, but what I'll take even further, one last thing on this game, I want to see the Celtics lose this game and then we take them in Washington the next game because that's when the Celtics will have the rest advantage, 2 days off, and Wizards didn't have to play another game, be 3rd-4, all this. So that's what I'm rooting for even more. I'll tell you right now. I hope the Wizards win this game so I can take them in the revenge game with the Celtics next game. We're just being straight up with you guys. But let's get to the next game, man. This is one I like. I'll be honest with you. Heat versus the Nets here. I told my guy Charlie last night, I said, I like the Heat, man. And when I looked at the line yesterday, it's at 5. I thought it was a tad disrespectful, especially this early in the season. Maybe when the Nets get it going later in the season, they can possibly be laying a line like this. Right now, I think the Heat are a little bit more ready to play in a game like this, and you see it as well. I took it at 4.5 last night. It's down to 3.5. Nothing's guaranteed. I mean, the Nets, could they come in here and win by double digits? KD get hot, and you know what I'm saying, Harden? Yeah, it's possible, but I'm willing to take my chances with the Heat here. The much better defensive team, a lot more grimy team as well. Lowry, you know what I'm saying, Butler. They got Tucker to go up against KD. The KD stopper, I'm sure KD been motivated, but still, I'm riding with the here plus the points. I think they win the game. Shark, could you talk me out?
Yeah, and we see Nets bets back in the chat. He leans the Nets, believe it or not. I am not surprised there. But looking into this game a little bit deeper, last year they did play very similar to the previous spot I was discussing with the Hornets, the Magic, back-to-back games in Barclays. Miami did cover the first one. It was 128-124, real tight one down the stretch. Then they came back the following game and just got hammered 98-85, and a total reversal of the pace of the game as well. Late season 109-107 outright victory from Miami. So you do get a revenge game for the Nets coming in here. I'm not sure how much weight that will hold right now without Kyrie and this roster ambiguity they have going on. The line, however, as Jay was saying, is all over Miami here. Brooklyn laid -7.5 twice at home. Then they laid 5 on the road. So it's coming down 3 points from the home environments, and it's sticking flat versus the road environment. It should be 7.5, 8. It's 3.5 points short. It's all over the Heat. I would lean Heat if I had to. Nothing official from me here.
What you got, Ski?
I think I'll probably disagree here. And how I feel like the Heat so far, like I think they're a great team. Don't get me wrong. But the first game, like that was a game they're gonna give 100% max effort. I don't think we necessarily got that from the Bucks. So I'm kind of gonna I'm not gonna toss it out, but I'm not saying like the Heat are the best team in the world because they blew the Bucks out by 30 in that first game. Just kind of like you say, Jay, they had revenge, right? So I don't know. I look at that game like that. To see them lose to the Pacers, that's kind of alarming.
They didn't have Lowry. That's their only point guard, bro. That's their only true point guard on the team. And I told Shark that. I said, bro, without Lowry, I can't take it. And there's reasons behind that. Like, I'm not surprised behind that, bro. Then they got I didn't mean cut you off, but that means something. You did.
No, I get you.
Like,
the Heat are top heavy, so I get what you're saying for sure. But even then, like the Pacers are just not a great defensive team. Like you should be able to put the ball in the basket versus the Pacers, and they only got 91 points. So that makes me kind of nervous. And then they're supposed to blow out the Magic. Magic get blown out by everybody. So I'm still up in the air about what I want to see from the Heat. And just with that said, I don't know. Something about this game, it's making me like the Nets. As far as what I've seen so far, I mean, it definitely tells me the Heat have played better. And I should be taking the Heat as far as recent stats go. And also Nets third in 4 days. But I just feel like it's a spot where the Nets have to step up and like show something in this. Like it's a show something spot for the Nets to me. So yeah, I will be playing the Nets.
Skip, if I could just jump off that. The game the Nets played in Philly, where they were lackluster the entire game, then backdoored and won the game by 5+ points. Of course, that was on the road. But again, that's a similarly weighted group for me, Philly and Miami. Not going to go against Jay here, but I do think there is some just confusion with Brooklyn. I don't think we really know what we're going to get from them. We've seen absolutely horrible efforts. We've seen bad first halves and some back doors. We've seen good first halves and some flat second halves. I just think right now with this group, very new season, and we've talked about this before, they plan on playing in June. How much do these games really matter to them? You're getting scattered, inconsistent efforts over 48 minutes. So it's just hard to cap right now with Brooklyn for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'll tell you the tipping cap here, the coaching. I'm not ready to trust Steve Nash right now. And I know I was even saying maybe the Nets could get there, get the Eastern Conference Finals, or maybe even win it. And I really get to thinking, can Steve Nash do it? Do they have the guys, the coaching guys that's going to motivate? He's talking about, I didn't have the guys ready game one, and you got all fucking summer. That's alarming to me. You're pretty much saying I'm a bad coach. That's a whole nother conversation, but a lot of reasons I like the Heat here. Kyle Lowry over there is like the quarterback of the team. That's what the Heat missed. That's what the beat writers are saying. Everything we know the Heat missed a true point guard. They also added a dog in PJ Tucker. Oh, he know how to guard KD perfectly. They still got dogs like Butler. Hero is taking a stride. Duncan Robinson go for 5 threes in the game. Bam Adebayo has an advantage in this game. I like the Heat, man. Anything can happen, but I took it 4.5. I still like it 3.5. We're talking anybody out of Heat money line, my guys. Let's get to the next game real quick. We got the Pacers versus the Raptors. I don't want to go in here and say I like the Raptors. It hadn't worked well so far. I mean, just because it hadn't worked well doesn't mean we should keep doing it. But I'm not going to tell anyone to take the Raptors for a while. Shark, what you think?
This is really tough for me. Of course, I lost with both of these teams on Monday night. So we always talk about this. The best spots to cap are when teams are coming from opposite directions, not the same direction. Both Indy and Toronto should improve. And if you look at what Indy did on the road in the first 2 games, they lost both games by 1 point in overtime. So now you look at this line coming in at 1 point. They're basically suggesting this is going to be a very similar game. You're going to be really tight down the stretch here. And of course, Toronto's 0-3 straight up and ATS at home. When do they improve? I think they might cluster here. Obviously, Scotty Barnes coming in here, great looking rookie, but there is some growing pains getting into a roster group here. Definitely nothing official for me, but on that point, I think I've seen enough from Toronto to realize this group needs more time, and I would lean Indy coming in here off of a ton of representative, tight road losses to get on the other side of that dispersion and probably win one by 1 or 2 points if I had to suggest.
What you think, Ski? It seemed like the Raptors got to get used to playing back at the house, Ski, but
yeah,
it's just we know that one of these are going to break out at the house, and we saw it last game versus the Bulls down 20. They never fucking give up. And if that's the Pacers, the Raptors definitely come back and win the game. Ski, what you think in this one?
This one, I'm kind of just, I don't know. It's kind of a pass game for me. But if I had a gun in my head, if I had to play it, I think the Pacers are the better team. Last year, they were better on the road than they were at home, probably because you get a bit of a discount, or I don't know, whatever the case may be. But Pacers were successful, and I probably will back them just off the strength. I think they're a better team.
Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. No way in hell I'm betting that game. You couldn't pay me to bet that game. Let's go to the next one. We had the Hawks here versus the Pelicans. Maybe some of me and my guy Shark made a line here on total up. It opened up at 6. It's down to 5.5. It had touched 5 for the Hawks. So hey, some money coming in on the Pelis here, the Pelicanos. Now they've got the Hawks. One of the better defensive teams in the league, man. I must say, Shark. What you think about this one?
Well, we're going to the second half of the show. We're going to the second buy hat. Atlanta Hawks -6. And what we're looking at last year, which is really specific, how Atlanta traveled on the road at the West. They had a showcase trip late season where they got hammered by all the contenders in the West. However, they do travel well within the Southwest, and they did hammer New Orleans twice. Also, they're on the front end of a back-to-back. In this Trae Young 2-year window, they have been very effective on front ends of back-to-backs and awful on the back end of back-to-backs. I think they might completely fall off the grid tomorrow, potentially, but I think this is their spot. And I go back to what they did against Cleveland in Game 2, road game as a significant favorite, outright loss. Cleveland and New Orleans are totally different environments. Atlanta did lose an early season game to Cleveland last year. So when I see teams doing the same thing the next year, I see a repeat in their habits and their behavioral tendencies. The game in New Orleans last year was an absolute blowout by 20 points. Then they backed it up at home with another 20-point win, roughly. And the line is confirming it. 1.5 Atlanta, 3.5 Atlanta. Now you get a double revenge game for New Orleans, and it comes up to 6 on the road. This should come down to pick. And I understand people always say this, well, there's a new roster. I know. But Vegas odds makers will hold the line if it doesn't matter for the roster. So the point is they're speaking to a blowout here, and I think Atlanta will bounce back off a really pathetic road opening environment at Cleveland, with New Orleans coming in here off of a road trip and a representative effort, an outright win at Minnesota. Atlanta -6 official play.
What you think, Ski? What you think on this one?
Both teams play a little bit faster than I'd like, but Pelicans haven't really been that great offensively so far from what I've been seeing. And I trust the Hawks defense. I trust Nate McMillan as a coach, whatever his schemes are going to be. And I probably will lean towards an under on this game. And if I have to pick a side, I just have to roll with the better team, the better coach, and who's been playing better lately. So that would be the Hawks.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit public, but hey, sometimes it cash. They definitely are the better team, and I'm definitely riding with them with my guy Shark tonight. I bet the Hawks last night as well. Like I said, I mean, you can even get 6 now, and I'll tell you what we do, like we did last season. We're gonna keep doing it. It's a lot better when it's 4 or 5 games, but still, Pelicans coming off 3 straight road games. 3 games in 4 nights. Then they come back to the house the next day. It's somewhat of a letdown spot, man. You got a lot of stuff to take care of at the house when you get back, man. You've been gone for a little while. So I like it better when it's a little bit more games, but still early in the season, this shit be hidden, man. I'm telling you, I don't know why, but they don't like it's a sleepy type spot, first game, whole game. And you had dynamic, the new head coach getting their first win. They probably celebrate a little bit. Hey, we going out to eat. Zion, hey, don't eat too much. No, I'm telling you, I'll mess with you.
That's facts right there.
I like the Hawks in this one, man. Really good defense versus a poor offense right now. Simple, streaky type offense. Like the Hawks here, simple. Next game up, man. Where we going? Oh, Timberwolves versus the Bucks, man. Sure, they brought it down from 7.5 to 6.5. Some money coming in on them Timmies. It is their first road game. That's a little bit worrisome, but still, the way the Timberwolves been playing, they got a new coach over there. They're starting to ball out. They got some, you know what I'm saying? They got some dogs over there, some guys, young guys as well. They got a little future. What you think about this one, Shark?
Yeah, we're going official here, +7.5. I posted it at 4 a.m. because I thought it would get steamed the other direction, and it did. We lost 1 point of CLV here. But when we're looking at the matchup specifically, last year the Timberwolves got throttled twice by the Bucks. 139-112 in Milwaukee. Both of these games were really interesting environments. It was Chris Finch's first game as a coach. So obviously having no burn with this group at all, it was kind of just a flyer game, and they got absolutely hammered. Then they came back at home and lost 130-105 in one of the most sketchy environments you found in a COVID season. They played in the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday, and it was just an absolute blowout. And now you come back, and the line is plummeting against it. Last year, Milwaukee laid -10 at home and 9.5 on the road. This opens at 7.5. It's shortening up. It's a double revenge game. And you really look at what Minnesota has done since the Finch hiring. They're 3 games over 500 dating back to this particular hiring. They are essentially a back-end fringe play-in style playoff team at this point. They're deep, they're young, they're well coached, and I love the mental makeup of this group. A lot of big dogs coming in there. And then, of course, the other side of it, you do get Milwaukee coming in here on a real trap spot, coming off a road trip and a win, back-to-back covers at Spurs and Pacers. Minnesota really checking the boxes here. Official play +7.5.
What you liking, Ski? Would you like anything in this game, Ski? Timberwolves down to 6.5. Would you still ride with us and take it at the 6.5?
I like what I've heard from Anthony Edwards as far as they got to get back on track, and he just wasn't happy. He's kind of being the leader that I want to see from him. So I like that from the Timberwolves side, and maybe they do come to play here. But I look more towards the total. I just see two teams. For one, Milwaukee's always going to play up tempo, and Chris Finch, they haven't been doing it, or maybe they have been doing it. They just haven't been making shots. But he says when they play faster, they play better. So far through, 3 games for them, 4 games for some teams, they have the fourth fastest pace. So some of those shots could just go in. If D'Lo could not go 3 for 14, probably get a lot more buckets in this one. So I like the over. I probably would look a little bit more towards the first half over. It's kind of contradicting, but Minnesota hasn't been great as far as first half scoring. They haven't been great scoring at all the last couple games. But the Bucks, when I look at them, their first halves have been north of 120. Their second halves, a lot lower scoring, like closer to 107, 106. And we saw that when they played the Pacers the other night. First half goes over easily. I think the full game might have stayed under. So I like the first half over 117, I think it is. And I wouldn't be mad if we played the full game too. But that's how I played this game.
You know what? I'm going to tell you why the Timberwolves probably win this game. It's not really about injuries, but no Drew Holiday, no Brook Lopez. Once again, they came off 3 straight games on the road. Their first home game, they got the rings. You know what I'm saying? Big upside. For one, the Nets weren't ready to play. For two, the Bucks just liked it. Obviously, they had their big 3, and they were the team that were motivated. It was a party night. It's either go 2 ways, let down or it's party night. They said we smashed it. Okay, cool. This is your next home game, letdown spot versus a Western Conference team. It doesn't really matter. You got 2 days off after this. I see a letdown spot from the Bucks. They probably know it's why they resting up their guys, man. So like I say, that's when you want to catch the Bucks, when they don't have their big 3. No Holiday, no Brook Lopez. I think Portis may play. I know Semi Ojeleye may play as well, but they could throw off the rotations. When you have guys coming back in, it's going to throw off the rotations. Give me the Timberwolves plus the points. I think they win this game. Give me plus 6.5 for official, my guys. Let's go to the next game here. Let me see. Let me just keep my screen up. All right, we got Ski. That's you, bro. Lakers versus OKC. I know the Lakers, they had an overtime game last night, overtime win. I saw AD kind of bang up his knee. I don't know if they'll play. I could see LeBron playing tonight and then AD not playing, or maybe not both of them. This is OKC here. OKC had a huge game as well, Ski, last night. They were up by 15 versus the Warriors and then ended up pissing it away. What you think about this one?
Well, yeah, we talked about who the top worst teams are, and this might actually be the worst out of all of them. OKC losing by 18.5 points per game. The Lakers, Anthony Davis before the last game, after their first win, he just kind of said, we're going on the road for a couple. We see that as an opportunity. We see 2 games that we're very capable of winning, and we need to build some momentum and keep it going like that. Like you said, he got banged up. I don't see why you throw him out there tonight. I wouldn't be mad even if you don't play Anthony Davis and LeBron. I still think the Lakers could squeak out a win. Now, as far as the spread, it's the Thunder, bro. They the worst in the league. And everybody's gonna bet the Thunder because they know that Anthony Davis and people are likely to sit. Like you see everybody grabbing these points. But just don't forget they lose by almost 20 per game. So I'll wait. I'll see who's actually in the game. If I get LeBron James in the game and Russell Westbrook, I'm fine taking the Lakers. What are they? 6, 7? I think that they'll win by double digits. If it does happen to be Anthony Davis and Westbrook, I think that they'll cover the number. If it's just Westbrook out there with no Anthony Davis and no LeBron, and we get more of a pick'em type number, I'll still take the Lakers. So it's wait and see mode for the injury report.
Yeah,
I think we got to see what's the Westbrook triple double prop. Shark, you like some? What you think on this game?
no, I agree with what Ski said, and I always talk about the Ciroc on ice model. It's a joke, but truly, if LeBron, AD, and a bunch of the guys sit out, you're going to get OKC looking at Westbrook and a bunch of the role players off of a cover too. I mean, is Oklahoma City going to cover back-to-back games in this campaign? That's a big ask. I would lean Lakers if they all sit out. If they don't sit out, however, you get a funky environment, of course, with Lakers coming off an OT win. It's what I just said about one of the previous games, and both teams come off of a similar environment. Both are in fatigue spots, and both are off of covers. One team has to lose, but no one's really speaking to either side here.
Yeah, no, I got you. You want to look? Westbrook's playing. I can tell you that right now. He says he wants to win. And I'm looking at the game. I'm like, all right, this is bullshit. All right, woo. Hold on, Westbrook going back to OKC. So yeah, I'd be looking at Westbrook trying to go out for like if the spread. You know what I'm saying? All that. You look for Westbrook. You look Westbrook shots. All this. He's gonna be taking a lot of shots. Whether he make them, it's gonna be something else. But I definitely think he will be trying to go for a triple double tonight and to win. But I mean, they're laying 6. I don't think AD's playing the way I saw him, and they played overtime as well. Don't be surprised at all if AD is ruled out. Maybe LeBron, but LeBron's not worth 6 points to the spread, guys. I can tell you that. I just want to say that because they moved the line 6 points yesterday. What are we doing here, bro? This guy's like damn near 40 years old. He's still a great player, but he's not the best player in the league anymore. I don't know. We just got to pay attention to that. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. Last game up, man. Grizzlies versus Blazers. I don't have a bunch on it. In theory, the Blazers would like to bounce back. The Grizzlies are some dogs. I think third straight road game, if I'm not mistaken. Shark, anything on this one?
This is really tough too because you get that same travel point that Phoenix did when they went and laid down in Portland a couple of nights ago. Back-to-back games in LA, back-to-back covers in LA too for Memphis. Now they go up to Portland. Portland comes in here off an absolute blowout loss. So it's hard to fade Portland here coming home off that spot. Somebody made a point in the chat last night publicly about Damian Lillard's motivation here early season, obviously off of a very tumultuous offseason. He has looked uninspired, to say the least. 0-8 from 3 in Staples the other night. Previous game only took 11 shots. And in the opener, I believe he was 5 for 14 from the field. So he's either ice cold or not taking a lot of shots. CJ McCollum has had most of the burn here and the ball in his hand a lot more. And it's just confusing. I don't know what's going on here with Lillard. Obviously, the offseason was tumultuous, and that's a point. Going to the actual matchup, though, the Grizzlies did beat Portland twice in Portland last year. And this line is moving against yet again. The line is on Memphis here, but again, it's hard to fade Portland off an absolute blowout loss on the road. It's just the definition of a no play for me.
Yeah, see, I'd be looking to see if Powell's still in there. He's definitely one of their better perimeter defenders. This team isn't already great defensively, so they definitely need Powell. He's a dog out there. I mean, sometimes he leads his team. But just a little bit of inside info, Dame didn't get along with Billups. His offense isn't what Dame likes to run. Dame likes to shoot threes. Billups doesn't want those guys shooting. He even said in offseason, I don't want my team chunking up threes. We're going to get to the basket, try to get some easy twos, and then if not, kick it out to the three. And I said then, Dame isn't going to like that. And we see it happening. We see him somewhat, I ain't going to say disinterested, but his shot's not falling. But sorry, I just had to get that off real quick. But what you think about this game, Ski?
Yeah, I agree. And I think I heard Chauncey Billups calling out his team saying they don't try. And it just goes to what you're saying. So
you can't do that shit.
Yeah, not looking good over there in Portland right now. And if they don't have Norman Powell, that's a huge loss for them. So Memphis, I don't like that they play tomorrow, but I still would have to look towards Memphis plus the points if I'm going to play this one. Even with Portland coming off that blowout loss, I just think it's too much drama going on over there. Obviously, Lillard is going to shoot better than 8% from 3 eventually, and you know what? Talking about it, the Grizzlies haven't been good defending the perimeter so far. I think they're second worst 3-point defense, and they've been actually a good 3-point shooting team this year, surprisingly for me. So maybe we look at an over here. I definitely see the Blazers having kind of playing with some pace. The Grizzlies don't mind pace. I don't think they shy away from it. And if I'm not expecting either team to really play much defense, I think the over is the way to go here.
Got you, guy. I'm glad you come on here with some totals, my guy, because I did not. I'm sorry, people. I mean, if you want to watch another show for the totals, I can understand. Hey, try to get all that money. I don't not be going over them totals, man. But I can tell you, so the Grizzlies have 2 days off before this one, so that's the only thing, Sharp. But it wasn't necessarily the same as the Sun. That was the back-to-back. Ain't off huge game. Now the Grizzlies are coming off a loss, covered 3 straight games. I mean, they played the Lakers super tough, almost pretty much deserved to win that game. Played the Clippers really tough, kind of caught them just not really ready to play. Steve mentioned they do have the Warriors tomorrow, but they had 2 days off. They have been on the road for, a little while. They could come together here. I'll tell you this, it's Grizzlies or nothing. I'm not going to even be long with it. I'm not, like you say, with Billups saying that, you can't do that yet. You're a new coach. You're still filling out the guys. You don't want to get them pissed off at you already, or you know what I'm saying? Then it's gonna be a long season, like the Pacers last year. You know what I'm saying? So and check for Powell as well. In theory, bounce back spot for the Blazers. I can't trust them right here. Ski. Anything else?
Jay,
Go ahead.
One more point on that. After the Lakers lost on, I believe, Sunday night it was, John Morant was on Twitter just blasting off tweets about regret and anger and learning and all this stuff. I didn't
see it.
I'm sick of it. Don't get me started, Shark. He's been doing this for years. Bro, all he do, every single game he lose, he just come on talking like, oh, I'm learning, this, that. I'm tired of it, bro. Just show us. I
never noticed. I might have to follow him or something.
It's not your rookie year no more. This is year 3. We don't care. Just show us.
Immature? Does he? I'm gonna have to look deeper into this. I'm gonna have to look into it because the line's coming down.
I agree. And on that point, I do like the passion, however. And on that point, traveling to Portland, Jay's point, you are absolutely right. The Phoenix spot was a 3rd and 4 road back-to-back, a totally deflated spot. I do think he'll come out here and juice it up tonight. I think he's going to play a great game tonight.
Man, if these motherfuckers had Dylan Brooks, but still, they still compete against both LA teams. I'm still mad that they're missing him right now, but they still have dogs over there. This Grizzlies team play a lot better defense than the Blazers. I don't give a damn how they look so far. If Powell's out, guys, I probably hop on the Grizzlies. I don't care. Like you can't do Billups. He might be losing team already. Dame is in bad sorts right now, not hitting his shot. He's their best player by 4. Powell, they would need him against somebody. We just talking some shit out because I didn't even have any, you know what I'm saying, thoughts to even bet this game. We just talking some shit out. It's Grizzlies or nothing. I'll tell you that right now. Kings, Suns, Cavs, Clippers, guys. I'm sorry, I don't have much on Ski. If you have some, either game, if you want, you can talk about them. I don't have much on them, my guy.
No, I'm good. I don't have really anything intelligent to say at this point, so I'll pass.
Yeah, just theory.
Just 30 seconds on these 2 games. Clippers, Cavs. Clippers handled them last year twice. The line is scaling against it. The Cavs are actually sneaky solid. I mean, I like my man Lauri Markkanen coming in there. I liked him on the Bulls, had some injury problems and coaching changes. I think the Cavs have upside. I think the Clippers, again, coming off a massive blowout, this could be a letdown spot. I think the Cavs might show some sustainability against the spread that people might not expect. Nothing official, but I would lean that. The Suns-Kings game is the ultimate coin flip. The last game they played against each other in Phoenix was an 8-point outcome, 122 to 114. That should tell you enough. This is going to be razor sharp, and that's a no play.
What about the other? You said the Suns King. Okay, yeah. So I know Suns in theory coming in theory should bounce back here. I know they're missing their point guard off the bench, which those things do matter. Campaign off the bench, so had to look deeper into that one. The Clippers own the Cavs. I'm talking about like they've covered the past 9 out of 10. They've won the last 7 games, last 9 out of 10 as well. They fucking own them. Simple. Even if they rest some guys. So just about that, I know the Cavs could be coming in off a high. They're a lot better defensive team than we think, guys. They do have one of their ballers out off the bench. Isaac Okoro is doubtful in this game, so could mean some Clippers could cluster in my opinion. I lean Clippers, but I wouldn't take the Cavs there, bro. Even though they're a little bitter this year. If the Clippers want to smack them up, they can. But let's get to the officials. Let's get out of here, Ski. Or Shark, you go with the officials first, my guy, and then Ski.
2 buy hats. I'm wearing one of them. Atlanta Hawks traveling to New Orleans, good functionality playing the Southwest. For whatever reason, there is psychology to basketball. I think they travel well here off of a very poor road showing prior at Cleveland. Charlotte coming into Orlando. Great line environment here. And a great situational fade of Orlando coming off of road games with a corollary to a blowout loss versus the Knicks in their only other home game. Milwaukee is a fade spot. We're taking Minnesota plus 7.5. That is a point that I posted on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Notifications on so you get the line when I place it. The line is very important in the NBA. You see these spots. I said it last night. These come down to the wire very often, and you want to be on the right side of that line. A great double revenge spot for Minnesota, who is a bye team sustainably. They are 3 games over 500 dating back to the Chris Finch hire. They're definitely a play-in, back-end West playoff team. I love the buy there. 3 officials. Ski Profit, talk to them.
Yeah, I'm always honest. Some days I like a lot. Some days not so much. Some days I need a little more time. Yesterday I had a bet on every single game. Today I haven't placed a wager yet. So I'll tell you my short list. Games that I'm doing a little more homework on, and I'm going to be taking one or a couple of. And that's going to be Charlotte Hornets minus 5.5, Brooklyn Nets minus 3.5, Washington Wizards plus 4, Lakers. We're just waiting to see who's in the lineup and seeing where the line ends up, and I'm definitely likely to be on them. And Minnesota Milwaukee, I like the first half over 117 right now, and that Memphis and Portland game over 234. So those are games I'm deciding between, and I'll pick 2 or 3 of them.
Exactly. And I always say, just to bounce a bit off that and to close this out, guys, even though it's early in the day, some games you want to get on early because you know the line's going to move, but I could never talk anyone out of waiting till the last minute bet. Anything can happen, especially in these COVID days. I'm talking about the best player on the team could be out with COVID protocol, and you can't get mad because anything can happen. You see what I'm saying? So I couldn't talk anyone. I know a lot of times I like to wait until the last few minutes right before the games, or at least before 7 o'clock Eastern before I place most of my bets. So I even maybe do some night ones at the end, but especially the games that start early, right before. There's nothing wrong with betting it right before the game. You have all the info and just get ready. You know what I'm saying? These are bets. There's no rushing to it. All that, man. We're trying to win. We come on here doing this for you guys, man. I'm official. I already have money on Heat plus 4.5. I'll go official with Heat plus 3.5. I think they win the game. I'm going official with the Timberwolves plus 6.5. I hadn't bet it yet, but I'm going to bet it. And I did bet Hawks minus 6 last night. It's minus 5.5. So I go official with it minus 5.5. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm definitely taking the Timberwolves. I definitely think they win this game. A letdown spot for the Bucks. First game back at the house after 3 straight games, 3 really good games. Well, most of them, 2 really good games. Give me the Timberwolves plus the 6.5. Finna hop on that way, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate my guy Shark coming on with me. Go follow him on Twitter at Shark and Sports. Go follow my guy as well at Ski Profit, man. I appreciate you doing the show with me, Ski. Ski say he might start doing the show with me on Wednesday, man. So I might have to take him up on that, Ski.
Yeah, whenever. Just let me know, bro. I'll be here.
Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you, man. We finna get out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe. We trying to win for ourselves. We trying to win for you guys as well, man. We out.